Welcome back for our second season of the Breakfast Club Beat, coming to you from the Brand Builder Studios in Charlotte, North Carolina. Today, we are so excited to have Coach Poole from the Carolina Ascent women's soccer team, first female pro women's soccer team in Charlotte, correct?
That is correct.
And my great friend Jan Ivy, who I have loved for years and is the Chief Communications Director with the team. So welcome.
Thank you. It's always great to see you, Jen.
Oh, this is going to be so fun. So Coach Poole, I just met you several weeks ago. I'm thrilled to have your team as members of the Hood Hargett Breakfast Club. And when we got to sit down and talk, I didn't really know that much about your background, and I knew I wanted to have you guys on. You guys are getting, you're right into your season. And I know that one of the things we're trying to do in our Breakfast Club family is to help grow the brand for your team. So why don't you give our listeners and our viewers a little bit of background on yourself and how you came to coach this team?
Yeah, again, thanks for having us, Jen. I've lived in Charlotte for 25 years now, and I've coached at every level of the game, from professional to youth to college. And I've never moved my family out of Charlotte, so I've worked in different parts of the country, different parts of the world, but this has always been home for us. So this opportunity came along in late 2023 that I think we're going to have a women's professional sports team here, and it was a no-brainer for me, and I'm extremely proud Charlottean. My wife and I live here, our kids are born here, so when this opportunity, it was too much to pass up.
Yeah, that's fantastic. How long do you think that had been how long has it been coming together to bring a pro women's team to Charlotte?
Yeah, I'd heard about it a couple of years before, and it's whispers and little pieces here and there, and I know about the ownership and investment of Dan D'Amico and what he had done for the Charlotte Independence and how that had gone. So I'd heard the whispers, but is it going to become a reality? I don't know. And at the time, I was working with the U.S. Women's National Team. So definitely keeping an eye on things here in Charlotte at home, but from afar. And here we are a couple of years later and off and running, and we have a great, awesome team.
So tell people where you guys play your games.
So we play at American Legion Memorial Stadium, and it's such a cool venue, Jen. I don't know if you've been there, but it's a downtown stadium. It's soccer specific, meaning there's no other lines on the field. It's not a 70,000 seat football stadium that we play soccer in. It's a soccer specific stadium with a capacity of just over 11,000. It's got the best skyline view of any stadium in the United States, and it's what we call home. So for us, I think we have the best stadium in the country. It's unbelievable.
I did have the privilege to go to two of your games last year, and I remember it was a Saturday night for the first game. I think it was in April. Walked in, the weather was perfect, and you're right, the view was absolutely amazing. I was blown away. I had not been in Memorial Stadium for quite a long time. I was blown away at the renovations and everything. Probably thank you, Dina Diorio, when she was county manager, to help make that happen. It looks amazing, doesn't it, Jan?
It does, 100%. We love our home. It is a beautiful facility owned by the county, and we are the lucky ones that get to be the primary tenant. It is about 5 years out from a $40 million renovation. So the Memorial Stadium that you and I grew up with and knew is no longer. Some of the historical pieces are still there. It looks very familiar, but the old and dreary has been washed away, and now it's a beautiful, shiny, sparkly soccer stadium that is our home. And I agree, we definitely have the best skyline and selfie location for anyone in Charlotte.
Yeah, great,
absolutely.
Great selfies. I love that. Coach, tell me, I feel like I'm really seeing such a huge movement in our country with women's soccer. And I know when we sat down, we talked a little bit about that. Tell me how you're seeing the game grow, and just the amount of teams that are in these. I know there's several leagues, and what you're seeing with the growth of Charlotte, or the growth of soccer now and 5 years from now.
Yeah, I think it's potentially, Jen, even bigger than that, right? The growth of women's sports, right? Mm-hmm. So obviously, the WNBA is huge. The LPGA is huge. You see women's professional hockey now, and what Team USA just did at the Winter Olympics, right?
Yes.
The women's sports movement is huge, and when women's sports is backed corporately and backed with some equity and some equality in terms of corporations and Fortune 500 companies getting behind it and TV contracts getting behind it, you see that it grows and it booms. And the population and the growth is there for everyone to see, but the valuation of some of these teams, I mean, the latest WNBA team is valued at $500 million.
Wow.
Right? The highest valuation of a women's soccer team in the United States is just shy of $400 million. So, the sport in itself from a youth and participation has always been number one in the world in the United States. We have so many little girls and young women playing soccer, football as I call it. But now you start to see the professional game grow. You start to see the TV contracts grow. You start to see the corporate interest grow. And the valuation of these clubs is crazy. And those people that were lucky enough to get in on the ground floor, it's starting to pay them back handsomely. So it's been unbelievable. And soccer in this country, obviously being 8-time world champions, we have the best women players in the world. It makes sense that the game grows as rapidly as it has and will continue to do so here.
Have you ever coached on the men's side of soccer as well?
Yeah, I've done it. You name it, men's, women's, kids, college, professional, internationally. But yeah, I enjoy my time in men's football. It was great. I don't see it any differently. I don't treat players or think about ideas any differently. It's the same sport.
I still can't call it football. Jan, I struggle with that. I'm like, I'm just always soccer and then like football, what we know as football here in America. So yeah, that's great when you say that.
Yeah. So yeah, I've done it all in terms of that stuff.
What is it about women's soccer that you're drawn to and that you come back to year after year?
I don't see the game any differently, but when I look at our team and our city, right, and I'll give you a slightly long-winded answer.
Sure.
And I'll pull American Legion Memorial Stadium and Mecklenburg County into this, is we have the Panthers, the Hornets, FC, the home of NASCAR, the Knights, the Checkers, the Charlotte Independents. We're a sports-rich town, right? And even when you look at the infrastructure and the venues, right, we have the Spectrum Center, we have Bank of America Stadium, American Legion Memorial Stadium, the racetrack. We've got an amazing array of facilities, of infrastructure, of different kinds of sports teams. So we get this whole landscape, and it's a real pride point of ours to be a part of that landscape and to have several brother organizations that do a great job already. But we're unique, right? You can come and you can watch some of the best players in the world play in Charlotte. You can get up close access to some of the best players in the world, right? As much as I love the Hornets, I can't go and take a selfie with them on a ball. But you can come to our games and in our stadium, you can get autographs and selfies, and you can really feel a part of the game, and you can get that up-close access that we're very thankful that still exists in the women's game. So women's sports, women's soccer, there's a different feeling, a different vibe to what we're able to do in Charlotte. But we're so proud to be a part of this landscape, a part of this city. And again, I call them our brother organizations. We've been so fortunate that we've had so many of the Hornets players through the games, Panthers players through the games. FC have been really good in terms of helping us and welcoming us into the market. So I think it's great for the city, it's great for the county, it's great for all of us.
I think one of the things I really noticed on the 2 games that I went to this past season was how many little young girls I saw at the game. And you're right, they're able to go right up to the players, take photos. I saw some of them playing soccer on the concourse. Concourse. Thank you, Jane.
Yes.
I couldn't think of what that word was right now. Yes, watching them play themselves. Like they're so into it.
Yeah, it's a different feel, Jen. I mean, I keep saying it is there's also an awful lot of little boys that attend these games, right? And there's so many different parts of our community that are served by the Panthers or the Hornets or FC. They do such a good job in the community. It's important that we do a good job. But, 5-10 years ago, I mean, North Carolina as a soccer state is a hotbed. But all of these little girls didn't have this to look at, right? If you can see it, you can be it kind of thing. And now it's there for them in their community, and our players do such a good job interacting with them, getting out to them, and we get such good support from so many of our sponsors and so many of our businesses locally, that we just want to continue to push that support towards our community using our players and using our relationships with our corporate partners, which has been to this point unreal.
Yeah, well, that's a perfect segue. Jan, speaking of corporate sponsors, that's your side. That's your neck of the woods, right? And that's what you have been
side.
so good at for your whole career. So
thank you.
How have you taken decades of experience in the sports marketing landscape of Charlotte and brought it to this incredible team?
So as much as I've done, I have daily learning to do, right? Things change. Everything evolves. I can tell the dinosaur stories to those people who want to listen, but I think I'm learning as much as I'm trying to give back at this point in time, just because of the evolution of business. The sports landscape completely changed since I entered it, and I won't say the year, about the same time you did. But we have seen, great change in the way business is done. We have had wonderful corporate sponsors come out from the Charlotte community through our relationships, through the trust. I think at the end of the day, a corporate sponsorship is no different than a friendship, and it's built on trust.
Sure.
And there are years and years evolving to, really create, solid relationships. And we are blessed to have quite a bit of the Charlotte community behind us. And to go back to something Coach Poole said about our brothers in sport here, the Hornets and the Panthers and the Knights, they've all been very supportive of us, come to our games, invited us to their games, and we reciprocate. So it's a beautiful landscape. It's a great place to do business. That's why we're here in Charlotte, right?
Absolutely.
If the USL didn't think Charlotte was a fruitful city, they would not have approached our ownership group about bringing in a women's team in addition to the men's team that we have as well. So yes, it is a growing opportunity. We still have opportunities. We still have categories that we would like to fill with the right corporate partners. Mm-hmm. And I think the beauty of it is that we are building our blueprint. Yeah. Some people say, building the airplane as we fly it. I think we're still doing that. Yeah. But in a good way.
I think I would absolutely see that as well. And I think because we've known each other as long as we have, the conversations that we've been able to have about that building block and layer on top of layer is there. Because I love hearing from both of you how all of the men's teams in town have been so supportive. It was really important to the Hood Harget Breakfast Club when you guys started last year that we had you as a member. We're fortunate enough, we've got all the other teams in Charlotte that are a part of our family, and we wanted to have you as well. And it's a major, major accomplishment and honor to be able to say that we have our women's pro soccer team as part of our Breakfast Club family. It's fantastic.
We're proud members. And let me tell you, when we have upcoming events, the tickets and spaces go quick.
I love that.
Yes. We always have a waiting list for just in case people have other commitments that pop up. So it is very mutual. So thank you for having us.
Well, Coach, I had a really fun experience a couple weeks ago. I got to do a Zoom call with several of the girls on your team. And it was super fun. Like, I learned a lot about their personalities, about their hobbies outside of soccer, things that bring them a lot of joy. They all love to drink coffee. That was definitely something I learned right off the bat.
And they were going to a play. Or
yes.
show.
Yes,
yeah,
they
three
were.
of them were going to a show.
And they love music.
Yes.
Because there were multiple concerts that they were talking about. But, okay, here was one of my favorite things that happened on this call. And I don't think that you know about this. And Jan, you're going to have to help me remember her name.
Megan Nally.
Thank you, Megan. So, Megan plays guitar, right?
Got no doubt.
And I feel like I learned in my meeting with you about her playing guitar. But what was crazy is we get on this call and she tells me that the night before our call, this is totally unscripted. She has no idea who I'm married to. She learned how to play wagon wheel.
On the ukulele.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's
on
the
the
ukulele.
ukulele. She learned that
Ukulele.
on the ukulele. Well, I told her my husband plays wagon wheel like every day of his life, obviously playing with Darius. And he just happened to be home. He was downstairs. And so, I mean, we're on this call live. When I tell her he's home, her eyes got as big as this microphone. I said, I'm going to have him come up here. He had just gotten done working out. He didn't even know what I was doing. He's like, what? I said, just come up here, get on this call. And he comes up and I was like, she's going to play you wagon wheel. And she gets out her ukulele and she's so nervous. And she was like trying to do the chords. And I felt bad because she did get really, really nervous with it. But then she started to do it. And it was great. Like Quentin loved it.
Yeah.
It was
really
super fun.
cute.
Your girls are great.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, they bring the energy for sure.
They are multifaceted, talented, on and off the field, like really power chicks you'd enjoy hanging out with.
Yes. Yeah,
They
I really enjoyed my
They
time with
are.
them, and I can't wait to meet them. I was supposed to meet them this week. I can't wait to meet them in person soon. But here's a question I have for you, Coach. What is the average life of a female soccer player? How many years playing the game?
All right, so American sports are standard. You've come out of college at 22, and I'd say it's probably about a 10-year career for the lucky ones.
Okay.
It's not too much different to NBA and NFL, and there's probably 3.5 years that you could average it out to. So I'd say somewhere between 3 and 10 years is normal, but now the game's changing. It's more in line with the world. So we have one professional that's 15 years old, and we have another professional that is 18 and a professional that is 19. So we have some of the youngest professional players in the United States.
You have a 15-year-old on your team?
Who's a full professional.
Wow.
So she won't go, they won't play in college. And
That's
they're doing
amazing.
okay. And, Stella Spitzer, I think at one point last year, she was the youngest ever to play a professional minute in the United States. So I would say most of our players have somewhere between 3 and 10 years, but look at Stella, who started her career at 14.
Sure, that's an exception.
She could go 20 years.
Yeah. So what are you seeing, though, since you've been around women's soccer for so long? What are you seeing when they get to the other side? Because they're so young. What are they drawn towards for career moves at that point? Do they like to get into coaching or staying in the soccer arena in some level?
No, I don't. Not many of them do. I think the ones that know they're going to stay in the game kind of know early. You can kind of sense that about them as a player. The way they play, the way they help their teammates. And I would say there's not a ton that go into soccer afterwards. And honestly, Jen, there's no rhyme or reason, right? I know one that will own a coffee shop. I know one that will work in an NFL front office. I know one that will go into banking or insurance. I know one that will be a designer. Like, our players will go into all kinds of walks of life. But the one thing that they all have in common is these women have had to compete from the age of 10. They've had to collaborate from the age of 10. They've had highs and lows. Their mortgage and their rent depends on their paycheck, and they're in a high-performing environment every single day. And when they get out of full-time professional athletics, they go on and they do amazing things in life, and they're so ready for that. They don't even know it, right? So they retire, and you have that lost 6 months, which, what am I going to do with my life? Where do I fit? And you find that most of them go on to amazing things because they've just been in this shark tank of an environment for most of their life.
They're hardwired.
Yeah, and they thrive, and these experiences are just so transferable to the corporate world, the non-corporate, whatever they go into, they're generally extremely successful.
Do you find that a lot of them are real heavy on the social media side? Is that helping to grow their brand and the brand of the Carolina Ascent?
Yeah, I think it's not just our players and players in general. I think if you look at fandom on social media, this pains me to say, but fans don't really follow now the Panthers. They don't really follow Carolina Ascent. They follow Jillian Aguilera, right? They follow the quarterback of this given team or that given team.
Yep.
And we have to kind of attach our trailer, if you will, to their hitch sometimes. So these young people today that are just, that are the target audience of the social media, they really follow players and individuals. So our players from a brand, all players, male players, female players, all players have to really think about their brand, their branding, and how it relates to the audience. So some of them are massively into it, Some of them are partially into it, but all of them are there because they understand the importance of their brand and how it can affect their career and, to be honest with you, their financial health too.
Yeah, absolutely. Jan, I know one thing that we've spent some time talking about is how can the corporate community in Charlotte help to grow your brand or create awareness? Why don't you share with our viewers what are some of the needs that you see still in our business community? What's like a wish list for you of several things that we could do to help you?
It's a great question, and one I really appreciate because it's very near and dear to my heart, because we do brainstorm about this daily, and I think sometimes we overcomplicate things. But truly support, and people go, what is support? And support can look different depending on your budget, right? Support is, looking at sponsorships with the team, partnerships. What is your company trying to accomplish? What are their goals? And is there something that we can do to help you accomplish your goals? The other piece of it is that, a lot of people don't control their own budgets because they're just, they're hardworking, professionals, but they don't have those kind of budgets that they manage. So bring a group out, bring your neighbors out, bring your church group, bring, your family. It could be just buying 2 tickets on a Friday or Saturday night game and coming to visit us and being an ambassador to us throughout the community, because we're young, we're still new in Charlotte, we're still building our brand, we're still trying to get our messaging out, and I don't think there's any magic bullets of how to do that, but I think if everyone could do what they can do within their universe,
Right.
then the team will continue to grow, and we will continue to be good messengers of that growth. We continually talk about what we will do as we grow, and growing correctly is something that's very important to the team. Giving back is something very important to the team. We will continue to do that, and we can do it more when we have more support.
Sure.
So-
I remember when the first game I came out to, we talked about how great the renovations and the stadium look, but I love how you have done the tent suites.
Yes.
And that's what we were out at. And I think it's such a great way, especially for a business, to be able to bring employees out.
It is.
It's incredibly economically well priced compared to what you would spend to get an experience
It is.
like that at some of our other teams in town. And it's a great way you can bring 16, 20 of your teammates or your clients out, and it's a really good time.
100%. And we keep everything very easy. So there's no heavy lifting for
No.
our clients. You commit to the number of tickets and the level of tickets, and then we take care of the food for you. We take care of, electronically delivering your tickets. We have parking. We have a beautiful
Yes.
parking deck.
The parking deck was great.
Right next door,
Yeah.
right? $15. You don't pay, downtown Charlotte parking fees
Right.
that are ginormous and
Yes.
sticker shock. We just keep it simple, and it goes back to something that Coach Poole was spending some time with a few minutes ago about what is different about us, and I think it's intimacy.
I like that.
I think the ratio of what we can do on our scale is much more personal than it is at some of the larger sporting arenas. And it goes back to the relationships that our players are making with our fans and with the young ones and the adorable ones that are running around in their little soccer kits
Sure.
that just make me,
Yeah.
give me goosebumps when I see them because they're just so adorable.
Yeah.
All the way up to, the grandparents and parents and everybody else in between. We are trying to offer more and more for each of, the age brackets and lifestyles. So we're looking at that just to continue to be inclusive and, do as much outreach as we possibly can.
I love that. This was great, guys. Thank you so much for coming on. I really, it's an honor to have you a part of our Breakfast Club family. It's just great to have you in town. Having this team here and watching what this is going to do for women's sports and growing that brand in our community is great. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, this was great.
Always
Thanks.
good to see you.
Good to see you too. If you would love to go on our website, which is hoodhargetbreakfastclub.com, or on our YouTube channel, The Breakfast Club Beat, check out our podcast from this week or any of our others, and we'd love to have you take a look.